guys, it's Black Sheep Girl. How's everybody doing? I'm doing okay. I just wanted to talk to you about something that I still haven't wrapped my mind around. So, I hope that you will pardon me. I was watching the 9/11 videos, 9/11 videos, whatever you want to call it. And they're just calmly talking about it. I watched a video yesterday, I think it was, or the day before. They're talking about these big Illuminati, Masonic Satanists, and saying they don't think the way you do. They don't have, I guess they don't have any, concern for their fellow people, like their fellow, person beside them, their neighbor. Their conscience is seared. They don't care about people. They're not concerned about them or for them. I just was thinking about that just now, watching the videos about 9/11. You know, it's funny because I hadn't been thinking about it at all. And then I saw a video of somebody talking about it. And somebody was talking to me about it a few days ago on 9/11 or 9/11. And it's just so funny how these people are so calmly just watching people die. They're saying there's planes, and the planes hit the buildings and just melted into the buildings. And, just there's people who took the day off knowing that there were people who were going to die in those flames. And I mean, I'm not just talking about 9/11, but I'm talking about other things too, like taking children and sexually abusing them, and satanic ritual abusing them and stuff. Just makes me so sad and makes me feel sick. They don't think the way we do. They don't. And it's hard to get my mind around it because I can't understand how somebody can't be concerned about the people around them. They don't care. They don't look, Satan is said to be a thief, a destroyer, a liar. He's not saying, oh gee, I really don't want to hurt these people. They're struggling right now. They need help. You need someone to help them. I really shouldn't deceive them. At least not right now. Maybe when they're doing better. He doesn't care at all. And I'm just thinking that these people took off work knowing that people are going to die. People in the buildings, people in the streets, people all around. Firemen were going to go up there, policemen were going up there, people were going down, they were going up, trying to help people. And the buildings collapsed. And some of the people that were alive at that time who said things like there was a body found in the closet and stuff like that, and talking about bombs and stuff, they're not alive today. Wonder why. It just blows my mind how people, I'm sure they had the TV on, I'm sure they were watching as people fell out of the buildings, jumped out of the buildings, were pushed, were blown out of the buildings when the explosions happened. I mean, CGI, anybody? CGI? There's a lot of people who, they feel that it's un-American to say that that's not true, but how do you know that they're not fooling you? I don't want to go around saying that, I don't want to say things that aren't true, but I'm just saying, how do you know that they didn't, they they made this stuff up to fool people? Because you can't just have an explosion for no reason. I mean, in 1993 there was an explosion, and they talked about how, some weird person's going by. Talking about how people, I don't know what I was gonna say because I got distracted, but I'm just saying, right? How can these people just take the day off work knowing that thousands of people are going to perish? I mean, think of the people who jumped out because they didn't know what else to do. They were gonna die in a blazing fire, or they were going to be blown out by the explosion, or they would die on the way down if they didn't get downstairs in time. Just blows my mind. Just blows my mind. I'm not saying I'm the most caring person. I'm not saying that I never did anything wrong, because I have. It's just that it just blows my mind. It just blows my mind. I mean, they had to be watching what happened that day. And some people say, oh, America, well, we have terrorist attacks all the time. Well, yeah, there are other countries that have terrorist attacks all the time. But we weren't one of those countries. So yeah, just watching what's going on. But anyway, so I'm just saying, anybody can think about it, okay? What if there weren't planes, right? What if there were no planes? What if there were no planes? Okay? Then what happened? What caused it? Is there something wrong with saying, okay, let me think. If there weren't planes, then what happened? What caused the explosions? What was it? Were they bombs? What was it? I mean, people were on fire in the elevators. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was not some, like, oh, this is a minor thing, we can take care of it. I mean, look how many people died. I don't know, I just want to make a video about it and ask you to think about it. I mean, there were people who said they didn't see any planes. And I mean, people were just standing out in the street. Just makes me sick. And okay, let's say there were planes originally. What did they do with the people in the planes? What did they do with the people in the planes? The people who were calling? Did they use people to call? They use people to act and say, oh, I lost so-and-so that was on a plane? Or did they actually have planes and they took the people's lives on those planes? I don't know, I just feel like really sad about the whole thing. I mean, I remember I was living in the city at the time and people were just running. My aunt was taking me to a tire place, and I didn't want to leave, I was scared, but I wanted to leave in a way, I think. And here's another thing, right? They say that the plane went in Shanksville. Why were there no, there should have been big pieces of plane, bodies. Why weren't there big pieces of planes? Why weren't there big pieces of planes? You know what I'm saying? Why? And so it's 20 years later, a little over 20 years later, so we should just say, well, that was then, this is now. I mean, look at the people who've got cancer, people who've died, people who are haunted by this. I mean, truly, they don't. No, I'm not talking about your hometown, person who dabbling in the occult and they're just confused. I'm talking about this I'm talking about like these elite people running like Hollywood and stuff. Now that's what I'm talking about. And just to me, it just seems very strange how things like this can happen. I mean, I remember when I got a phone call. I was 28 years old. I was 28 years old. I got a phone call. And my friend he called me. He said, turn the TV on, turn the TV on, turn on the TV. And I was like, what's going on? He just said, turn it on. I said, okay. So he told me to turn the news on, and I did. And isn't that funny how things, 1 minute everything's fine. I had music on, I was cleaning my apartment, and then the next thing I know, all heck is breaking loose. So I really think it's disgusting how, I mean, if you're asking questions like, could this have happened the way I think it could have? Is it possible? And people get angry and say, how could you do that? How could you think that? What's wrong with thinking about it? What's wrong with, people always talk about have an open mind. Well, why can't you have an open mind about that? Why can't you say, well, I wonder if it's possible? Most of the Americans, and I'll say most of America plus everybody else around the world, saw it on TV. But there are people who didn't see it on TV. And I've heard some of them say there were no planes. They didn't see planes. So I don't know. I'm just saying. And I'm not saying there weren't actors or people they hired to, say whatever they wanted them to say. I mean, look at the people they called in different places. How do you know they weren't actors to fulfill their whatever they wanted? Everybody looking at it at the same time, thinking the same thoughts at the same times. Just makes me wonder. I mean, those are our fellow Americans, our fellow human beings. And it just makes me sad to think that some heinous people, some people that did such a heinous act on people. If they wanted to destroy the building, they could have at least, they didn't have to. If they wanted to do it in secret, they could have said, we're gonna do some maintenance tomorrow, so nobody's coming to work. No, let lots of people die. It's a satanic ritual. Kill more people. Of course, kill more people. It's disgusting. So I don't know. I just don't understand how people, they see things in front of their eyes, right? Okay, I understand in a way because I didn't know. Like, I wasn't awake for how many years? I was born again in 1993. I was asleep 1994, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, I was asleep for years and years. I'm not even exactly sure when I started waking up. Maybe 5, 6 years ago, maybe? I'm not sure. I mean, it's just sickening. It's just sickening. And I'm not saying that if you woke up that you're a bad person, because it takes someone time. It takes someone time to wake up. I mean, you can't force somebody. You can't go, hey, buddy, wake up, wake up. If they're going to wake up, they're going to wake up. So yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to, like I talked about the Rainbow Girls. I was in the Rainbow Girls. I saw what happened. Okay, so I might be off on the time when parents were able to come to see you. Like, it might have been a couple of months. I'm not sure. I thought about asking somebody who would know, but I haven't got around to asking them. They might not even remember. So, I mean, it could have been like a couple of months. But I'm just saying, like, what would I gain? I'm not getting money. I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting a new house. I'm not getting a silver play button or a gold play button or anything like that, which I don't care about that. I'm just saying, what a lot of people would want is not what I have. So I'm just saying, what would I have to gain from that? What? I mean, people that call themselves truthers, like, there's people who really try to tell people the truth, and then people will say, oh, you're this, that, whatever, because ... I mean, what do people have to gain? If they're not being paid to say stuff, if they're not, I mean, look, some of these people have had their channels taken down. They've had, 2, 3, 4, 5 channels taken down. I know of a gentleman who's had multiple channels taken down. Now, if he was being paid, he would be having like 500,000 subscribers, and it would be the same channel he had 6 years ago, or whatever. So, I'm just saying, this is disgusting, and I understand that people take time to wake up, and it's not just gonna be like immediately, boom. It's gonna take a while, and that's okay. I mean, it took me time to wake up, and I've been accused of being radical, and but you know what? I don't want to hold it over people's heads like, hey, I'm awake and you aren't, because there's probably stuff I'm still not awake to yet. Like, when somebody becomes a Christian, for example, they don't go from, like, they don't surrender their lives and then all of a sudden I'm a 30-year-old in the Lord. I am mature. They're still babies. Just like when a person's born, you can't expect them to be like a 10-year-old or a 5-year-old. You know what I'm saying? So it takes time. So even if someone does begin to wake up, they still may not want to believe some of the things that they might believe in the future, like 3 years down the road, or a year, 3 years, 5 years, whatever. So one thing I've noticed is that I have to be careful. I have to kind of give people bite-sized pieces, because if I don't, sometimes I've given them too much, and then they can't handle it. They just can't digest it. It's like expecting a 1-month-old baby to eat animal crackers. They just can't do it, and people can say, well, why would you talk about that? Aren't you afraid? Why should I be afraid? They talk about it all the time themselves. It's in your face. People just don't realize it. It's like they're going, we're doing da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm not talking about people who are your local people who are confused and they're trying to learn about Jesus, or they've gotten into something they didn't mean to get into and they want to get out of it. I'm talking about these high-ranking people in Hollywood or whatever, out of Hollywood, like they control everything. I'll tell you one thing, they don't control everything. They might control the world because they are allowed to by Satan, but they don't control the believers in Jesus. Jesus controls everything. Satan has to go to Jesus. Satan has to go to Jesus and say, hey, excuse me, Your Royal Majesty, I wanted to talk to you about one of your servants. Look what happened with Job. Do you think that he just said, oh, well, I'm gonna go mess with Job. God might get mad, but I don't care. Whatever. He went and got permission. That old slithery serpent. He had to get permission to ask God, Ya Elohim, Adonai, hey, can I try to get your servant cursed you. He's like no other servant you've had at this time, and I just want to see if he's gonna curse you. And God gave him instructions, and he did not go over those instructions. He couldn't go over those instructions. And Satan was made by Adonai. Sure. So he's a created being, whether people like it or not. He is a created being. And there's a lot of lost people. Maybe they like they don't believe in anything. They claim they don't believe in anything or whatever. Okay, but that's why we have to share with them about Jesus. And I've made a horrible mistake recently, and I just pray that God will help me to be the kind of witness that He wants me to be. Not for my glory, but for His. I know this went on for a long time, but the 911 thing just really got me thinking. You know, those people died. They were so horrified. It's either turn back and die from fire, or not be able to breathe because of the smoke, die from some horrible thing, or jump, and maybe you can. You'll die, but it won't be as bad. Maybe. I don't know what was in their minds. I mean, can you imagine what these people were thinking? They're trapped, and they're freaking out, like, I don't know what to do. And they're looking down, right? They're looking down, and I mean, like, they're like 90 stories up or 100 stories up, whatever, and they're just looking down. I mean, I couldn't imagine that. And these people are we are all evil. Yeshua says in His word that we are all evil, but if you surrender to your life to Jesus Christ, Yeshua, He will receive you. But I'm saying these people who set this up, they just watched it. Probably like, hand me some popcorn, honey, this is fun. I just don't understand how people can do that. Anyway, I just want to encourage you to call upon Jesus Christ, also known as Yeshua, also known as Yahushua. Those are His Hebrew names. Please call on Him. There is no other way. John 14:6 says that it says, Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. So I hope this will help you. And yeah, I did some ranting, but what can I say? I hope this helped somebody out there. So I want to thank you for watching. Oops, I'm sitting on the wrong side. I always like to sit over this side. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Hope this video was long enough. Bye. See ya.